in order to we have paid for. So I will not waste much of our time. I thank you all for coming, and we expect to see some of us tomorrow live and direct, as we always say on some parts of Nigeria, live and direct. So thank you very much for those who have made time, in spite of all what we are going through. No petrol, no this, no that, but you are still here. Thank you so much. And we'll go straight to the lecture. And why someone's mic is still on. Why are we here? Some people wonder, why do we have to have this pre-induction lecture? Why do we need to have this pre-induction training? Because doctoral fellows and fellows are seen as, we are seen as the elders of, like Council of Elders of the Institute. And when they always say that we should separate the boys from the men, that is why one of the reasons we're here. So please relax and let's ride on together, and we'll be able to enjoy the next 1 hour together. So the topic we're going to have this morning, I've been introduced. Sorry, did I say this morning? I'm in Nigeria. I'm not in the US. This evening is developing executive presence in the workplace. Why do we need to develop executive presence? You can't have a doctoral fellow and be a fellow and you will not have the presence. People just take it for granted that, oh, I have what it takes to be there. No, we need to learn. And in life, we continuously learn. That is why one of the philosophers said that at 84 or 90, is that a continuous and never-ending improvement. And that is what the Institute has seen, that we should be able to know why we are awarding you that doctoral fellow as well as a fellow. You can't just say, oh, I'm a fellow of this place without having the presence. We want you to have the presence and get it done with. Sorry, please let me switch off the phone. Let me switch off the phone. I'm on a seminar so that I can get this done. Thank you. So let's unpack the agenda. What are we going to talk about? Sorry for that breaking transmission. I thought I switched off my phone. So what are we going to learn and talk about? One, we'll talk about the definition of executive presence. What is the definition of executive presence? Then we'll talk about know thyself. Do you have executive presence yet? Or you want to develop it? Do you even know what it is? Then we'll look at executive presence and thyself through what we call the Johari window. The Johari window is a model of identifying yourself. Then the key steps to developing executive presence. Then the pillars of executive presence, the traits of executive presence, what are the benefits of executive presence? Then we need to create personal presence, then create the environment and connect with people. Then how do we now use executive presence to manage people? We develop a new mindset as we finish this training, then we'll discuss. In between, we'll be discussing, because I always say that as we move, if there is any question you want to ask, please break into my transmission. There'll be no NEPA failure. So break into the transmission and let's get talking, because it has to be interactive session. I love this. Most of my sessions, I always start with this. Especially when I'm talking to the higher echelon of any organization, of any place, I try to use this. It's a simple truth, very simple. You are paid to produce results. Yes. It is your people that produce results. Yes. So focus your energy on helping your people to be successful. Because when they are successful, you are also successful. Because when the chips are down, they will say, oh, Oga did this, or this person did this, our team lead was this, and whatever. So you get the accolade first before you even get to say, oh, congratulations, my friend. You made it. But it is your people that made you to shine. Because it's not one person cannot do everything. And no man is an island. That is the essence of why we were talking about executive presence this evening. So first, we need to understand the individual, because the individual makes up the team, and the team makes up the group or the organization. There are different teams within organization, and we need these people in order to move the organization forward. So human behavior is the courteous, effective, and positive interaction. Note that word, positive. It has to be courteous. It has to be effective between two or more persons with a view to doing what? A mutually beneficial relationship, a relationship that is symbiotic between people that are going to deliver results. It's not one-sided. If once it is one-sided, you will never get the results that you want. So what do we need to do? Understand that individual. How do I make the individual to work? Let's shake hands across the divide and we get there. So we need to understand the differences between all of us, that all of us are individuals and we need to make a mark to impact on the organization. So, and the degree of pleasure or displeasure each encounters with the individual will reveal the hidden traits inherent in each personality. And what do we mean by that? Each and every one of us have two sides. We are not talking of those who say they are bipolar. What we want is that we want you to do well, and at that time, that person that is doing good for the business will work with that person. And the person that is not doing well with the organization, doing well for the organization, will find a way of putting that person on track. So what do we want to do? When we see that there is a negativity in the system, you with your executive presence, because people are looking at you with a doctoral fellow and with a fellow, they say the person has something up here. So we need to be able to bring out the best in us and the best in others. And that is the way we can get it done. So what is the executive presence? Executive presence is hard to define, but at the same time, before we go into that, let's see what is presence. We know that we know it when we see it. Somebody walks into a room, and people just say, oh, I need to connect. Whereas some people walk into the room and they say that person has an attitude. But some people, when they walk into the room, they are still showstoppers. Showstoppers for good, not because they are they dress excessively or extravagant or something in their dressing, but no, the people just see people gravitating towards them. Conversation opens up to include them. We'll say, oh, come, let you join us. I'm sure some of us have found ourselves in that situation, but we cannot sustain this when you cannot give what they expect of you. That this person has something, it has a presence, but what are you going to give in return? What impact are you making on that team? So they are in charge of themselves and any situation. They are the people that if you give them something to say, they will always have something good to say, not just open their mouth and blah, 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 blah. So what is executive presence? Why do you need it? How do we get it? That is executive presence. So executive presence, we've seen what presence is all about. People that when they come in, something good. There's a good aura around them. So what is executive presence? Is the ability to act, take that word, act decisively. That act is not just there, there's an adjective attached to that act. decisively, not just act anyhow, and with what dignity, while embodying the most quintessential elements of leadership. Act decisively, there should be dignity, there should be those quintessential elements of leadership. What is that? Those outstanding traits, those outstanding elements of leadership. So you can now see that executive president is somehow, it leans towards being leaders. And for crying out loud, you have a doctoral fellow. They say that person is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management. What do they expect from you? They expect that you are a leader of some sort within a particular group. So there's leadership inside executive presence, and you cannot show that unless you are able to understand what is expected of you. So those with executive presence work well under pressure. They are not the ones that they go somewhere, they will not be able to manage their emotions. They are not the type of people that will not be able to communicate clearly. They are not the type of people that will not radiate confidence wherever they go. And they have this capable persona that when they stand, people listen. They know that somebody is speaking. So presence is not something you are born with. So what does it mean? Like all other management skills, they are learned. They are like habits. They are like traits. They are attributes that we can pick along the way. And those ones that are not going to add value to our lives, drop them. So presence is like leadership, is something that we pick, that we learn along the way. So that is the essence why we are here. Because you wonder, why are we talking about presence? It's something that you have to learn. I have it? No. Okay, you have it? Yes. Do you have everything it takes to have that executive presence? You may have the presence, but you don't have the executive presence in the workplace. So it's not a question of status symbol or position. We have seen situations where some people, a driver and the oga sort of, they went out, and the driver carries the oga's portfolio or whatever, that bag, and he gets to the door, and they say, "Oh, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir." And he started doing, it's not the sir, his oga is the one behind. But you've seen situations like that. So it's not only by the physical presence, it's everything wrapped together. It's everything about you. So we've seen some people that they don't have to be so tall before they have the executive presence. Because when we're talking about executive presence, some people say, maybe because my stature, okay? It's not about your stature. Some people are of my height, 4 feet something, or well, I don't know whether they call it meters now. They still command the respect and they have the presence. So what's a term for executive presence? A good synonym for executive presence is what you call personal presence or leadership presence. So you now wonder, so we can as well say it's personal presence. No. You can also say it's leadership presence. No. One gravitates into the other. You have to start with personal presence, then you move to leadership presence, then you now go to the executive presence. And that is why we say that you can't just say, I have personal presence. You may have personal presence, you may not have the executive presence. You may have personal presence, you may not have the leadership presence. So it's because it's not everybody that will be able to manage these 3 steps. So the basic concept is that what your demeanor, your actions, and everything that is worthy of a true leader is what people respect and what they follow. They will first of all see the leadership trait in you before they will say, okay, this person has the executive presence. So what do we need to do? Executive presence, as I said before, is a skill, not a trait, which means it's something you can cultivate and build like a habit. Something you can cultivate and build like a habit. So I know I'm talking to people behind the screen, lots and lots of our intelligent people, our doctoral fellow tomorrow and our fellow tomorrow. As I move on, please ask questions. You can type in your questions into the chat, or you raise your digital hand so that I'll be able to know that you have something for me. Don't unmute yourself so that we don't get to know those who are still in the kitchen and cooking for daddy or Oga. So it does. Now, the next thing is to know thyself. How do I know myself? Is that what I will use to develop executive presence? Is that what I need to be able to get there? And that is why we have this quotation that the illiterates of the 21st century, and all those when we are and fellow of the, we now know that a lot rests on our shoulder to project ourselves, to be able to project the institute, and to be able to carry it and believe that, yes, I have what it takes to be able to stand there and say, I am a doctoral fellow. I am a fellow of this place. So no one is sitting down too old or to anything else to begin a self-improvement program. And that is the journey, starting from tonight till we get inducted tomorrow. Willingness, that is on your part. You know yourself that, are you willing? And that is why we are here. If you are not willing, you will not sacrifice your night, Friday night for that matter. Like we always say in Lagos, Friday, when we should be grooving and whatever. You are here listening to one woman talking about the executive presence. That shows you're willing to move to a higher level. So willingness and willingness alone is the total. If you don't do that, you will not be able to. Emotions is very important in whatever we do. So what do I now do? So how do I understand myself? How do I now understand that? Now we said, know that we need to do. What do I need to do in order to know myself? Let's look at this. You have to learn. Always say learn and unlearn and relearn. So what do I need to do? Learn to understand. So it is the first step to understanding others. You need to understand yourself. We will not understand those who will make you to go overboard. And you say, did you say that person has a doctoral fellow, or that person has a fellow, is fellow of whatever? Because if you don't manage yourself, manage, please. And remember, as HR, we need to manage. Like I read sometimes during the week, someone said HR is like the vehicle. They are the vehicle that bring people to the workplace. So how do you understand these people? How do we make them to deliver what the organization wants us to get from them? We will not recruit and fire them immediately. We need to work with them. And that is part of what we are going to talk about tomorrow. So consider these important questions. Understanding yourself. Do you see yourself as a leader? What kind of leader are you? The one who helps others to solve problems? A leader who helps people get along? How do others see me? Have we ever? That is why in some organizations, what do? They ensure that when the time for appraisal, before some people get promoted to another management level, they get peer review. They get those who are within their peer to review them and send message. How do you see this person? So that at the end, that is also part of the percentage, it carries a percentage of what they will use in assessing, is this person good enough to be a deputy director? Is this person good enough to lead a team? So how do others see you as a leader? What are your goals, purposes, and expectations when you are working in a particular team? It's very important that we need to do this. Then how do I know myself? And that is where we come in with the Joe-Harry window. The Joe-Harry window is a model of knowing oneself and how others see you as well. The Joe-Harry window asks for boxes or 4 areas. And in the 4 areas, the first one is, you see on this side, on this side, I'm sure you could see let me take the lighter. On this side is the self. That is the self. On top of that, then on top of the boxes is self. Then you now see on the other side is the others. How do others see you? How do they see you within the organization? It's important that we need to know. So when you see that these people see you under self, there is what we have, the known and unknown. The known and unknown. Sorry. The known and unknown. This known is self. Then we also have the unknown. The unknown. Okay. Let me take the pointer out of here so that it doesn't disturb us. Sorry about that. So let's now take this under self here. We have known and unknown. Known and unknown. Under the others, we have also known and unknown. The first box is about known and known. That means you know something about yourself and others know something about you. Then the second box is under unknown and known for others. So that means something unknown to you, but others know. Then the third box is under self, known to you, but unknown to others. Then somebody is using the dual. Can you switch off one of your devices? So it's echoing. Then the fourth one is also under self. So we have to manage self and how others see us. So the fourth one is what? Self, unknown to self, then unknown to others. So let us break down this and see what does this mean. So first box, which is known. This is what we call the open area, free area, public. Everybody knows about you. Everybody knows that thing about you and that about you and whatever. You know it and others know it. Also known as what? Area of free activity. And so I know so much about Mrs. Igwe. I say, oh, Mrs. Igwe, you are like this, you are like that. So you're right. I think I am. I know I am. Then 2, that is what we call the blind spot, the blind self, unknown to me, but known to others. The blind self or the blind area or blind spot. What is known about a person by others in the group, but is unknown to the person himself or herself. You wonder, how will people know much about me and I don't know that about myself? I'll give you an example. When somebody saw me a couple of years ago and he brought out that part in me that I never knew. We were in a group together and he just said, Mrs. Igwe, I've known you for a while, but I think you don't know this about yourself. I smiled. I said, what was that? And he said, you are a calculated risk taker. Honestly, I never knew that about myself, but I just knew that I was going on and doing what I needed to do and whatever, but I didn't know that somebody else saw that I don't just jump unless I see the reason. So I have to calculate why I need to do that. Honestly, I didn't know that about myself until that guy told me, one of our team members. So now that part of me is now known to me and known to others, I suppose. But as at that time, it was unknown to me. So the third part is that what is known to ourselves but kept hidden to others. So the first part is known to me, but I try to hide it. Let's assume, I'm not saying I'm like that too. They put 1 million in a place, especially the new Naira notes, and they switch off the light, and I need a pack of 20, or that would be 200,000 or whatever. And I picked it, and they switch on the light. Say, where is it? It's not me. I know that I could take something, but others will say, no, Mrs. Igwe, no, she won't touch it. This is what is known to you. Can you do it under the cloak of darkness? Would you vouch for yourself that I know I would do it? But others will still vouch and say, no, she's not like that. That is it. Know thyself. And what will others say or know about you? Then the last bit is unknown. Me, I don't know that I have the capability. Others don't even know that I have the strength to do that. Let's take an example. The example is, let's assume that somebody will say, fire, 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 fire. And there's a 6-foot wall nearby. Before they say fire, I've jumped. And others, they'll say, Mrs. Igwe was the first person that jumped that fence. And they say, Mrs. Igwe, did you? I said, honestly, I didn't know. It was more of an existential thing to me that I need to survive, survival fit. And I found myself jumping before others would even say fire. So it's unknown to them and it's unknown to me. How did I develop that? So these are some of the things that, what do you need to know about yourself? What do people say about you when you're talking about executive presence? How do you impact on your team? How do you impact on the organization in order to get there? So please remember, executive presence has a lot to do about you and how people perceive you and what you do, the action decisively in order to get there. That is why this topic is very important and hot for us to discuss, because it sort of leans on leadership. And leadership is a topic that in management, in HR, in anywhere, we can never exhaust the discussion on leadership. So that is why executive presence is very important. So let's move on. Someone is talking. Please switch off. Mute your mic, please. Mute your mic. Unless if you have something to say, type in the chat room. Please, if you have something to say, type in the chat room. So leadership topic is something that you can never, till the world comes to an end. Leadership will always have something to discuss. There'll be something to be discussed on leadership. There will always be something, because there will always be leaders and there will always be followers. So nowadays, it has been said that good leaders, in quote, appear to be what? Endangered species. So what does it mean? Is it that we have bad leaders, or leaders that are mediocre, or leaders that don't even care whether they are followers? So this is basically what, when you talk of good leaders, how to manage people, how to manage yourself, why do I have to, what do I need to do, and the ability to manage the corporate suite. How do you manage the corporate suite? You need to know how to manage it. Why am I here? And what do I need to do in order to get there? And that is the essence of executive presence and leadership. Now, so many people have this to say that leadership, leaders are born, leaders are made, and whatever. Look at that cartoon. Whoa, when a woman gives her congratulations, you give birth to a leader. At that point in time, do you know whether that person is a leader? Do you know whether that child is a leader? It is never, you can never predict. Even those who were born with silver spoon in their mouth, they don't end up being leaders. They need to learn things in order to get there. So not everyone is a born leader, but everyone can develop leadership skills, and everyone can benefit from using the leadership skills. So if you want to become a successful leader, developing executive presence is what is essential, very, very much essential, and we need to get it done. These are so many leaders, all of them there are dead, I would say. If your action inspires others, your action inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, become more, you are a leader. That means you are putting service above self, putting service above self, and that is leadership. Please, can that person switch off? Let's see, who is that person? Who is that person with the mic on? Can you please switch off your mic, please? Switch off your mic. You're disturbing the class. So your action should inspire others. You should be able to influence others. Just look at it. What impact are you bringing to the table? So don't look at it that, oh, doctoral fellow or fellow of the institute is just one of those certificates that I need to acquire. You have to back it with action. You have to back it with your presence. You have to back it that say, I know why. I know who I am. I know what I can do and be able to get there. So what are those behaviors that define strong executive presence? You can improve on your executive presence. You can improve on your executive presence with focus, practice, and attitude, competencies, aptitude, everything you need to work on in order to get there. Don't just say you are stopping at the leadership level. No. Personal presence, move to leadership. From leadership, you move to executive presence. So what are those behaviors that you need? You need strong emotional intelligence. Nobody should get under your skin without you allowing that person. And you now want to fight out. With executive presence, you need to be able to speak publicly. Let them not call you and say, we have a doctoral fellow in the house, we have a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Human Resources. Develop public. Please, can that person switch off his? Can you mute yourself, please? I'm sure you know who you are. Develop that public speaking skills. It's not out of place. This person that is talking with you, once upon a time, I was not good at public speaking. I will have butterfly flying in my stomach. I won't be able to talk, and I will sweat and sweat and sweat, and and I will stammer. Some people will say, "Is she a stammerer?" No, but once you start it, you will do well, because one day your livelihood may be on that public speaking. Communicate to connect. Learn to communicate. Listen. Communication is more about listening than speaking. Therefore, understanding, writing, and speaking. You will say, where is listening? I said, writing, speaking, understanding, and what did I say before? 4 of them. But speaking is very important. And what do you need to do? When you speak with a hindsight that you are impacting. Speak for people to listen. Speak for you to be able to make an impact. Communicate. Don't always interrupt. Don't think that you know everything. What you need to do when you have executive presence, especially in the C-suite, watch people talk, listen to them. Because when you break into their communication, the best is yet to come, and you cut off, and the person will just switch off. Have what we call the quiet confidence. When people see you, they know that you have something to offer. Not that you make noise, you do whatever. With a doctoral fellow and a fellow, you should hold your own. Integrity, when they say when you say good morning, let people not go to check through the window to know whether it is night. Develop a signature style, something that people will say, when you say it, it is like that. They will not doubt your integrity. Learn to be a leader. It is a skill that anyone can learn. Question time. Let's see. Hello, are we there? You can unmute yourself and let me see the faces that I'm talking with.
Yes, we are here. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Let me
here.
see the person. If you are here, let me see who said good evening, sir. Okay, lovely. I wanted to get the first person so that tomorrow when we see, I will know whether I will give that person the first person here.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Mildred. We're here, ma'am.
Okay, Mildred. Okay, yes. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow so that I will know I'm going to give something. Just remind me.
My name is
Good evening, ma'am. Abimbola Fayoji is here, ma'am. Abimbola Fayoji is here, ma'am.
Abimbola fine lady.
Fayoju, Abimbola Fayoju. Yes, ma'am.
This is Olojo here.
Ah, okay now. Good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Olunga Elizabeth. Good evening, madam.
Good evening. Thank you. Now that I threw something, you see now. When I threw something that those I will see tomorrow, I'm going to give them something. You see, everybody. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, okay, let's mute so that we can continue to enjoy one another. Please give me a chat give us a chat so that we can, sir, so that we can know that you have something, a question or not. So, what are the 7 key steps to build and enhance your own executive presence? Now, your own executive presence. Remember, we mentioned personal presence, leadership presence, executive presence. You know, all of us do not have to follow the same executive presence, but how do I now develop my own? How do I develop that style that when they say, when Mrs. Ibeyi comes into the room, you know, she will smile, she will look at everybody in the eye and whatever, and make you feel comfortable. So the first thing we should do is that have a vision and articulate it well. What do you want? Somebody has given us a chart. Let's see what that person has. What an interesting lecture. Thank you very much. First thing you do is that have a vision and articulate it with your team member. You don't have to be in the boardroom to be able to articulate this. Where do we want to go? Where do we see ourselves in the next few years? With a doctoral fellow and a fellow, do I see myself? You are beyond the ordinary, let's not say ordinary personnel manager. You are beyond the level. At this level, please mute your mics, please. At this level, doctoral and fellow, as I said when I started, I said, you are like the council of elders. People look up to us. They look at us and see that we have value to add. So understand how others experience you. Are you one of those people that when you come into a room, the light goes off? Or you are one of those people when you come into the room, the light comes on. Or when you leave with the light. See how others experience you. And build your own communication skills. Switch off, madam. Build your own communication skills. Hold your own. You never can say where this will come handy. Somebody will remember you and say, oh, I remember that person that said that thing. Can you find that person for me? You say, oh, I met him or her at the Chartered Institute of Human Rights, and they come looking for you. Because in life, you are not more than 4 steps away from the person that will make you. You are not more than 4. You should know that person that this is where you are going. So you should know that person that knows this person, that will be able to connect this person so that you'll be able to get to this person. If you are more than 4 levels, then you need to work on yourself. That means you don't have the presence. That means you are not an excellent listener. That means there's something wrong with you. Cultivate your network and build political savvy team. Not the politics of PDP, SDP, or PDPC or whatever. But remember, you need that politics in the workplace. Don't ever say, oh, I don't play politics in the workplace. Politics is in our DNA. We play politics in the house. So you need to be able to get the executive president, the leadership president, play the office politics. Play the office politics. You will know how to manage your network. Learn to operate effectively under stress. When I was young, I'm still young though. I'm still young. I'll tell you how old I am. That if you have any issue, it's either you go above it, subdue you. Now, the millennia, I've discovered that I will not even do any of those ones. We don't let any stress weigh you down as with your executive presence or personal presence or leadership presence. The world is full of a lot of stressors. You don't need any to make you not to perform. So make sure your appearance is not a distraction. You don't need expensive clothing to get there. If you have a signature team, if it's people know you with your Ankara, please let it be. If people know you with a suit or whatever, but have a signature that people will say you will not be caught unawares. What does that mean? It means what you should be prepared. Like the scout, be prepared. That is what executive presence is all about. Prepared mentally, prepared physically, prepared in any action that you take. And that is what is taking us to these 3 pillars of executive presence. Managing yourself, packaging yourself. Okay, and how do I act? You know that you are going to somewhere. If peradventure, you have to carry everybody along with your communication, with your appearance. I give you a story. Someone went somewhere. It was the way he was dressed. He was spotted for good thing. Not other people were dressed more expensively than that individual. Was spotted, and they gave the person something that the person forever remember. Is very important. So how do you act? Do you have what it takes to be able to give people the magic touch that whatever you touch comes out golden? The way you communicate with people, verbally, body language, in writing, and everything is part of your executive presence. Some people can speak the English, whatever, but their body language, because they have the accent, they have the intonation. Immediately they get into a place, they just say, these people are not it. They have the Nigeria, the Igbotic, the Mbati accent, but their own is Queen's English. So immediately they come in and they feel, when I speak, people will listen. And what the body language already shows it. So it's very important that we work on this act, communicate, and look at packaging, total packaging. You can't waive that certificate when we get inducted tomorrow and not be able to do these 3 well. So authentically connect with others to motivate and inspire them to These are the 8 traits of what we can pick as the executive president: your style, your confidence, your charisma, trustworthiness, relatability. People will want to relate with you. Your composure. Be transparent and be authentic in whatever you do. Show them. Let people know. Let people be able to read you. Read the good part of you. Not that you are an open book for everybody to see like that, but there are some things that they will not know about you. But are not those things that are bad. Let the good work come out and show for itself. Be concise in what. Speak so much that people are lost in your conversation. Be there so that people will listen to whatever you're saying. So the benefit of the executive presence: first, be present. That means listen. Listening is an intellectual ability. Hearing is a biological function. If somebody does not hear, that is why when people say, I can't hear you, then how do you know that I'm talking? Hearing is a biological function. If somebody has any issue with hearing, they take the person to a doctor. It's a biological medical function. Or listening, even if you have an hearing aid and you don't listen, you are hearing the person, but you are not listening. So listening is something that we need to work on. Be present, act decisively, empathize, feel for the people. Don't be aloof. That is part of executive presence. Empathize, show them, say it, understand what you are going through. Say it for them to know. Some people say, hey, you are showing it, but you are not saying it. They're two different things, like listening and hearing. So that people have better morale, there'll be lower turnover rates. Even if they want to go, they say, no, let me give it another shot before I go. Because my oga, that's my oga, there's something, I don't know. They will say, what is it? They say, honestly, I don't know, but there's something that man is using in putting me here. So because change is constant, demonstrate passion that I believe in you, I believe in this job, I believe in the organization. But when this organization goes up, sorry about that. I think it was network problem. Network. Okay, I can see Lawal. Adeba, your hands, your digital hand is up. Lawal Adebola, can I get you? Yes, please. Lawal, you have the floor. Lawal, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Oh, good evening. Hello?
Hey, Lawal. Good evening, yes. Lawal. Good evening, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear. Can someone hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Hello?
you.
Yes, I
We
can.
can hear you, man.
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Thank you, Midril. I thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, Oyenuga Elizabeth. Okay, that means it is Lawal that is out of the radar. Okay. When
Yeah.
he comes back, we will take him. Okay, so then the next thing is think both term and long term. What is the essence of why are we doing what we are doing? What is the essence of what we are doing? What the long-term effects of this? So it's very important. Don't just think, no. You need to think, because when you are dealing with people, all of us, we know, like what Yoruba people always say, that we should sleep and put all of us will put our head in one direction. So we are part of the policy body. Ugh. Sorry about that. Network. So we should be able to ensure that we carry our people along and make sure they accept change in whatever we are doing. Now let's move on. We'll come back to Adebola later. Now, why is executive presence so important? Because it plays a major role in the overall success of the organization. Overall success of the organization, it helps us get there. It helps you as HR to get to the heart of the people that are helping us to deliver results. Shapes the emotional intelligence, image, interaction of everybody, whether in person or online, because there are even rules of engagement when you are discussing with people online. So ultimately, it will define your brand and reward people that are helping us to get there. Those who are going for promotion, those who have to get where we want to be. So executive presence, they see you as a person that they need to follow. So what is leadership? What is the difference or the similarities between leadership and executive presence? My friends will always say the devil is a liar. We are going to finish this. The devil is a liar. We will get this done. Okay. So presence is inferred on us, because when people see your presence, they will say, oh, this person is expected to do this. They will look at you and say, you are this. So something that involves that they already jump to conclusion on who you are. That is presence. This person has something, this person has something, and it doesn't have what it takes for us to be able to get there. So let's look at it. That position is the leader, presence is inferred upon you, is a conclusion that people make before you even talk. So presence is who you are, and it affects performance. It affects profitability in the workplace. So it's your presence influencing the organization? Is your presence bringing profit or surplus? Because some of us may not use profit to the organization. So what do we need to define how do we define your personal executive presence? Have a positive mindset, consider your habits and background, ask for support when you know there's something lacking, because all of us cannot get it right. So redirect your focus. If you feel something is lacking, then practice what the speaking skills, as we said before. Observe others, let them also observe you. Learn from those who you hold in high regard. That means, please, you should always get mentors who will help us We don't know it all. Even at my level, I still look at people, even with my age, I still look at people that I believe could be mentors. Remember, mentorship does not have to be somebody that is usually older than you. It could be somebody that is younger than you. You may want to learn. The person may want to have something that you want only by somebody that is higher. So learn from those who hold in high regard, use your body language well, invest in learning tools, and that is why we are here. Join a group, and this is one of them, and get a coach that will tell you you are doing well. So let's quickly look at what we mean by personal presence. Personal presence. Personal presence can help you get a date, a mate, a job, or what. It can help you lead a meeting or whatever. But personal presence involves your genuine character and relationship of how, know how, what do you need to know, who you are, how you are, what your presence does for you and what it does for others, and how you act. So in essence, creating personal presence takes a look at what you look like, how you talk, how you think and act as a leader. So you see, the lower rung of the ladder is personal presence. The next level is what? Leadership. The topmost is the executive presence. In essence, executive presence is the level of your ability to lead a group, not one person, not two people. So it is measured by your likelihood that people will follow you and your direction, and how you are viewed across the team. So you see that team working has come into it as well. So what do we need to do? Now, what do we need to do? Where do I start? What does executive personal presence look like? How do I build capacity or capability to get there? So what does it look like? We look at the future. The future is about nurturing people that will take over. Remember, my friends, my Yoruba friends will always say that the office will outlive the worker. That means there'll be people that will take over from us when we exit the organization. Leadership is for everybody. Don't hoard it. Don't hoard it. Throw it out. That is why modern management talks about bottom up leadership, because down there, our associates, so many of them have so much to give out, and we need to be able to help them get there. Provide the enabling environment, be flexible, and remember, change is constant. We start you looking at yourself in the mirror. When you look in the mirror and you see someone else, break that mirror. It is not juju. It is not that they followed anybody from the village. You are not just being sincere with yourself. Be sincere with yourself and say, change start with me. Look at yourself in the mirror, be flexible, and change what you need to change for the good of the organization. In the classroom, when you are counseling, coaching, it doesn't have to be the physical classroom or wherever. When you are coaching, when you're counseling, when you are mentoring people in the workplace, anywhere, be able to say, I have the executive presence, because it will permeate from the workplace to your social life. Your leadership attitude, that's where it starts from. Your behavior and qualities, and staying ahead. Be ready to say, people will expect something good from me, with a doctoral fellow and as a fellow of the institute. How do I master executive presence? Trust is the first thing in relationship. Relationship with your clients, relationship with your peers, relationship with people who are above and below you. You need to be a trustworthy person. We mentioned it earlier. 2, engage and empower your teams. Remember, we started, your people deliver results, not only you. Inspire them. Inspire them. Because in the course of our journey, some people will get tired. They don't want to go along with it. These are people that get out of the organization. These are the people that will say, let him continue. When I'm not there, they will not add my salary to his own. They get tired, they want to jet out. So it's very important that we manage all these people, and that is one of the ways in which you master executive presence. You mentioned trust. Trust as universal principles, and these are the principles that follow trust. Trust is the baseline. When people say, I trust you, say, why do you trust him? You say, honestly, he's a person of integrity. He's a person of honesty. He has service above self. He's kind, he contributes. They will start saying so many attributes of trust. All of them converge into trust. Just pick one of this. See what you need to do. See what you need to work on. Because trust is the essence of being a good someone that has leadership presence as well as executive presence. Let's quickly read this story. This is a story of trust to sort of underscore what's talking about trust. Trust is a very important factor for all relationships. When trust is broken, it's the end of the relationship. Lack of trust leads to suspicion. Suspicion generates anger. Anger causes enmity. Enmity may result in separation. Herbert MG Purple, please put your phone, thank you. A telephone operator told me that one day she received a phone call. She had answered, Public Utilities Board. There was silence. She repeated, PUB. There was still no answer. When she was going to cut off the line, she heard the lady's voice. Oh, so this is PUB. Sorry, I got the number from my husband's pocket, but I do not know whose number it is. Trust. Without mutual trust, just imagine what will happen to the couple if the telephone operator answered just hello instead of PUB. So let's go beyond the ordinary. Let's go beyond the call of duty. Trust people. That does not make us to be MU. Instead, it shows you're someone that has trust, that should be trusted, that someone that believes that people can do well, even if they have their eyes closed, even in the course of whatever, you'll be able to trust them. So it's very important we use trust. And trust and success come with people. So everyone who succeeds does so through relationship with people. Nothing in this world is ever created, built, produced, amassed, fostered, distributed, or utilized without the support of other people. That means you can't do it. Deliver on our joint goal and whatever we want for the organization. People are looking at us. People are analyzing us. People are profiling us. We need to succeed. So in order to succeed, executives must be fully engaged with employees who make up their organization, thereby focusing skill by skill on people. People now becomes an acronym for professionalism. We go out there with a doctoral fellow, with a fellow showing the professional bit of us in HR. Show the professionalism when you go out there, not just the certificate. Show empathy. Be an optimist. Don't be a pessimist and look at the dark side of people. Let's see the good side of them. It is when they now show us that you now know how you relate with them. Remember, one thing in life is that all of us have our own good side. Everybody has their own dark side. Don't just judge them. It's always said that don't judge the book by its cover. Let's learn to partner. Success comes with partnering, collaboration. Then we also get our people to be loyal. We also be loyal to the system, engage them and empower them. Because when you are managing people, remember that we use people management, which is professionalism, empathy, optimism, partnering, loyalty, engagement, and empowerment. Then we can also use the fish model. The fish model says, feel for others, involve others, speak to or see their point of view, then hear them out. Because in people management, the rich also cry. The blood runs in you, runs in them. As we want to wrap up, remember we need to develop a new mindset in whatever you do. Your executive presence must see people grow in the organization, or your executive presence will make them run from the organization. So you watch them grow, see them go. So what do you need to do? You need to train them, you need to mentor them, you need to counsel them in order to close the performance gap or skills gap that is making them not to deliver on the mandate that has been set for you and your team. Remember, you have to retain them in the workplace, and it is what the part of thing that makes them to stay is your presence. Retain them business success, or else we'll not be able to get there. So with your executive presence, you need to rework yourself. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about what? Creating and recreating yourself. With executive presence, stand up to me. Malam Zango, Malam Zango, Malam Zango, please mute your mic. Malam Zango, please mute your mic. Thank you. You need to recreate yourself. With your executive presence, stand up to be seen. Never mind your height. Talk to be heard. Sit to be noticed. These are all the essence of executive presence. Know that people are watching you. People are watching you. It is up to you to recreate yourself and get there. Because if you don't, all the certificates that we acquire, be it doctoral fellow, fellow this, fellow that, there are some places, some people say, I have 3 master's degree. But let me quickly tell you the story of somebody, especially managing your emotions. This lady, I went for a presentation somewhere. When we finished, said, Mrs. Bay, please, I want to see you. I said, okay, I want you to just give me your own opinion and this and that. I said, what happened? So, see, anywhere I go to, people just pick on me. I don't know why. Maybe because I came out with first class. I just took a pinch on my body. I say, are you real? Are you for real? Then I now say, why won't people pick on you? Because immediately you go there, you make them feel that these people are not just up to you. How many people are with first class and whatever and all those things? I said, for all I care. And I told her, let's sit down. We sat down and I told her, I said, for all I care. Maybe I came out of the university with a 3rd class. You might have come out with first class or upper, if there's anything like that. Not only distinction first class upper. For all I care, there's something about you. You have an attitude. You have an attitude. I mean, looking down on others. You may have the presence, but the way you act and everything will just kill it all. You may have all the certificates in this world. The way you talk, you kill it all. So what we need to do, we need to reinvent ourselves. We need to focus what is around us. We need to learn to be able to capture the essence of what is going on around us, so we can transfer new set of skills to people around us, to people that are working with us. At the end of it all, we need to show a better way by example. And that's why J.F. Kennedy, of blessed memory, said, it is time for a new generation of leadership to cope with new problems, with new opportunities, where there's a new world to be. Remember, post-pandemic has brought a lot of depression into the workplace. Post-pandemic has brought a lot of depression into our lives. Nothing has ever changed humanity than COVID. So we need to be able to look at it that, do I need to shout at this person? Do I need to tell this person he doesn't know what he's doing? What do I need to do to show the way, to focus, Do I need to look at myself in the mirror and recreate, reinvent myself? Because it's very important that we do this. It is very important. So one thing that we need to do, thank you for that. Okay, so in conclusion, remember, first impression is a lasting impression. Remember the 1 minute elevator opportunity. You find yourself in an elevator with someone, maybe the way you look, you probably look at the person from top to bottom. I'll tell you my story tomorrow. How somebody did that to me, and eventually how I paid back. So remember the 1 minute elevator opportunity. You may not have that opportunity. You may not have a second opportunity to change an impression, and a bad one. So let's look at it. Your executive president is very important. So now I will say, unmute yourself and answer this question. Unmute. Everybody unmute and answer this question. Are you wired? Are you wired to connect?
Yes, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Thank you so
yes.
much, ma.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Wired
you,
to
thank
connect,
you.
because you cannot
Yes,
do this. Thank you. You cannot do this alone. You cannot. So what you need to do, be kind to everyone that comes your way. Your executive president doesn't mean you need to lord it over them. For everyone you meet is carrying a heavy load. Are you ready? Before you speak, before you go mute, you mute your mic. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Very ready.
Very
Very,
ready.
ready, very,
very,
very ready.
Very, very ready.
So if you are ready, are you going to speak in your own way of doing things, or you are going to swim? Okay, mute your, okay, we now know. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic. Are you going to sink and wallow in your own way of doing things, or move away, identify those things that are not helping us to get there? Or are you going to swim with the current and play the politics? Well, in the workplace, showing your presence and getting along with people so that you'll be able to set up yourself and others for success. Are you ready? Yes or no?
Very ready.
Yes.
Very,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So we're very
Very
ready.
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 Yes,
So,
very,
I
very
feel
Very
ready.
so better.
ready,
Yeah.
thank you. For the race is
very
won by those who are,
ready,
the race is won by those
very
who are
ready.
prepared. Thank you.
Yes,
The race is won by those who are prepared to make a difference, prepared to do what it is for us to get it right, for us to be able to predict the future, invest in it, and ensure that all the people that are around us know that we are there to get the laurel, this trophy together. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving your time. If you cannot get your questions answered today, tomorrow, when we have the induction, physical and online, we will talk more on what you need to do. But this pre-induction lecture is to separate the boys from the men. It separates the girls from the women. So we need to be very, very mindful that we have doctoral fellow, we are fellows of this institute. And as I said, you are part of the Council of Elders of the institute. Go out there and show the light and shine the light. Thank you. Let's take questions, let's discuss and see what we want to do. Question time in the next few minutes, if you want to. Oh, I have 4 minutes more because I'm supposed to start at 10. 4 minutes more. Questions? If you don't want to talk, add something, put a chat, put a chat in the chat room for us, so that we'll be able to get there together. Let's move together. Let's make the world of the HR a better place. Let them not look at us as we are there to hire and fire because you engage me, then you want to fire me. There are different ways of managing people. Thank you for listening. God bless us all. See you tomorrow morning by God's grace. Question time. Question time. Thank you, Babajide Kazim. Abdullahi, thank you.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Mildred. Good evening,
Okay, this is
Mildred.
Mildred. Okay, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. You've imparted so much on us tonight. So only God knows how tomorrow's own is going to be. We're so grateful to have you, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
so
okay, this is my question, ma'am.
Yes, please.
As a head child now, because is a current challenge I'm facing. How do you manage a process where there is no structure?
As HR,
Yes, ma'am.
how do you manage a process where there's no
A
structure?
process where there is no structure and you are meant to manage the process. So how do you go about it? Having told us about what was it called again? The three what was it called? The leadership, the executive what did you say again?
Presence.
Exactly. Yes, executive presence, personal leadership, and personal presence. I noted them down. Then now, as a person, yes, your impact is being felt, your presence is there. Then where there is no structure, so how do you make impact?
You say you need to get management to your site in order to get the structure in place, because without structure, it will be very hard. And I'm sure what you talk about is usually what we always felt. These are some of the things that the issues that we find in some private organizations that
Exactly.
are one-man business.
Yes, ma'am.
One-man business.
You've nailed it, ma'am.
They are the ones that they will say where somebody is saying Uluojo is saying governance, corporate governance. They don't believe in it. They do it the way they want to do it. The way that I am the owner of this place. And these are the people that some of the employees will look at them that when there is enough profit, instead of to make people fine. I've heard situations where they say that they carry their family to go and spend the winter abroad, summer abroad, instead of making sure that the geese or goose or that lays the golden egg is also fed. So, but the thing is that there's no structure. What do? You don't. One thing I always tell people is that let's be frank. There are some other organizations that will appreciate you. Until you get there, to those organizations, do the bit that you can do, because you can't force it down their throat. Management will always be management. Ownership or private ownership will be the owners of the organization. So you can take them to trainings that they talk about corporate governance and what, as far as they are concerned. I will run my business the way I want to run it. And that is the bane of our problem in Nigeria, the bane of private organizations in Nigeria. Why? That is why some of them, when you watch TNN, 100, they will say 100 organizations that have survived 100 years. But in Nigeria, how many organizations have survived even 50 years? Because the way they run the organization is not encouraging to those that are in. That is why some of them sort of cut corners in order to get there. So what you need to do is that if you know that your influence is not, or your impact is not being appreciated, see what you need to do to leave something behind, and your psyche, your what did I put it now? Your psyche, your person, your I want to use one particular word. It's about you. It's about you. Don't let them get you depressed on the job. See what you can do to move out, because that is the essence of what these millennia are doing. They look at that the only way up is out. For me to get to where I want to be, for me to get what I need to do, I need to get out of this place for my sanity. Yes, that's what I was looking for. for your sanity, because you've gone to school, you've got everything you want to do this. So you will not sabotage them, but you're looking out for where you will be appreciated. So let your sanity be in place, because some people, their threshold is very minimal. So make sure your sanity is in place, okay, as HR, because people are looking at you. If you cannot manage yourself, how do you want to manage others? Somebody has something here. Ntama Uwe said, Madam, how do you manage a situation where the owner of the business is sabotaging his but I'm yet to believe that. For example, you're trying to get doctors to do the right thing, and he says, leave my doctors for me. Oh. Sabotage his business. Is he doing it intentionally, or he doesn't know that what he's doing is killing his business? One way in which, in those days, was this that suggestion box that we used to have. It gave room for people to drop things without their names, without you knowing who wrote what. Just create suggestion box, because if you try to tell him, and with that, you'll be like, it's like a survey, it's like a small research. Suggestion box, anybody can drop in there for them to know how well. Because nowadays, what people do is that they send you, thank you for doing this with us. They send it to you online and say, oh, thank you for being part of this. If you accept it well, can we know? But whatever it is, we can go back to that old method. Because by the time you bring it out, it's there written out. You will attach it and send to the owner of the place and say, this is what you got from my people. Whether he likes it or not, whether he believes you or not, something will hit him, and he will remember when something goes off course, and he will know. Okay? That's why I wonder, Mildred said, no business owner will want to sabotage their own business. So, but she said that when he says, leave my doctors for me, and they are doing some things out of it, but for whatever it is, please use that old method, and it worked. Not even the computer one. Some of us were born before computer. That's why I say BBC, born before computer. We were using the drop, the drop or suggestion box, and you'll be able to get it done. So, but if the person says, I'm sure whoever wrote that is Ntama, knows what he's talking about. But as Mildred has rightly said, I don't believe anybody wants to kill his or our own business. But if they do unknowingly, you too find a way knowingly to make them know that they are doing something that is contrary to their profession. Okay, and one of that is the suggestion box. You will tabulate it and you write report. Unless, as I said, one-man business. Leave me the way I want to run business. But don't let them run down your sanity. Look out. Not necessarily greener pasture, but where you'll be well composed. The world is full of depression, and we should not be part of those who are depressed. Any other question? So whatever question that you probably want to ask, we can talk about it tomorrow morning by God's grace, whether online or in person. Thank you for giving me your 1 hour or 1.5 hours. We didn't start in time, it wasn't my fault. So thank you so much. We get to see tomorrow. Bye. Our doctoral fellows and our fellows. See you tomorrow by God's grace. Thank you. Madam Tessie, are you with us?
Yes,
Someone
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Please, for those of us that will be connecting with us online tomorrow, is 11 a.m. The physical induction starts from 10 a.m. And for those of us that are coming for the physical induction, please, we should look for alternative route, especially those of us that stays around the Yaba, Apapa Road, Costain, because of the rally that they want to do around.